It's reported that 80% of people with multiple sclerosis will suffer from fatigue at some point within their disease. It might be chronic fatigue or it might be acute, where it comes and goes. I have another video on my YouTube page where I talk about a couple tips and strategies to conserve your energy right now in the moment. But this video is going to cover 5 different topics that might be contributing to your fatigue. And if any one of them rings true for you and you can tackle that today, your fatigue could drastically improve. So I'm going to tell you what those are, and let's get to work. The first one is check your sleep hygiene. There are many things that can cause us to not sleep well at night, and some of those things might last throughout the whole night, whereas others might be disturbances in the evening. For example, if you have to wake up frequently to use the bathroom, that is going to disturb your sleep and you will not get a straight 8 hours of sleep. Another thing with sleep hygiene is, are you waking up from muscle cramps or muscle spasms or restless leg syndrome, or do you have sleep apnea? If there are any issues that you have while sleeping that you are not getting good quality sleep because of them, talk to your doctor about them and see if there is something you can do, whether it's a medication or a lifestyle change, to reduce those symptoms so that you can sleep better at night. Number 2 is to check the drugs that you are currently taking. There are tons of different drugs and supplements that people with MS have to take on often a daily basis for your symptoms. However, sometimes there are drugs that you can wean off of. So if you haven't asked your doctor recently which drugs you might be able to take off of your plate, do so. If you are taking a lot of drugs at once, some of them could be interacting with one another, and that can have an effect on your fatigue levels. So check with your doctor to see if there's any medications that you can start to wean off of, or if you're having any adverse effects on your fatigue based on some of those medications you're taking, and maybe there's a different one you could take instead. Number 3 is to check your lifestyle. If you are sedentary, which is very easy to be sedentary when you have multiple sclerosis because there are many things that prevent you from moving, but if you're sedentary or not exercising or eating poorly or even just socially isolated, those are all things that can have a negative effect on your fatigue. So there are exercises that you can do that don't include jumping jacks or going out for a run. There's simple exercises you can do at home to improve your energy. The Missing Link, which is my online MS wellness program, is filled with tons of them that you could do at home. Make sure you're eating well. If you're eating bad food throughout the day, or even just starchy carbs or salty foods, those also could have an effect on your fatigue. So make sure you're eating healthy. And as best as possible, get out of the social isolating tendencies, even if that means joining a Facebook group. Make sure that your lifestyle is conducive in increasing your energy. The fourth one is to ask yourself if you are overheating. If you are feeling fatigued, ask yourself right away, is there any chance that your core temperature could be rising? Because if there is a chance that it's rising, it is as simple as drinking an ice cold beverage to lower your core temperature. If your core temperature starts to rise, that can cause motor fatigue and cognitive fatigue. Motor fatigue would be an example of you having a hard time getting up off of the couch. Cognitive fatigue would be slowed thinking or can't come up with the right words. And decreasing your core temperature can actually improve both types of fatigue. Number 5 is to check if there is an actual MS attack happening or a urinary tract infection. I can't tell you how many times I have clients come into my office and they say that they are super fatigued, they just haven't been productive with their exercises lately, and then about a week later they find out that they had a UTI. So if there is any chance that you might have some type of infection going on, talk to your doctor and see if you can clear that as soon as possible. And on the other hand, if there is an MS attack happening, make sure you're aware of those signs and symptoms that you're feeling and talk to your neurologist about the next best steps. So just to recap, there are 5 things that you should be looking for that may be impacting your fatigue right now. Number 1 is poor sleep hygiene. Number 2 is to check your drugs, see if there's any you can get rid of or substitute. Number 3 is a lifestyle. Make sure you're staying active as best as possible and not socially isolate yourself. Number 4 is to check if your core temperature is rising and you may be overheating. And number 5 is to make sure that you have no infections going on or MS attacks. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to press the subscribe button, press a thumbs up button, and share with a friend. And YouTube seems to think you'd like these videos over here, so go ahead and check those out if you have some extra time.